All right, today we're doing something a little different. We're putting you in the driver's seat for a high-stakes mission where a single wrong move could cost a fortune. This isn't just theory. This is a real-world masterclass in the hidden, incredibly high-pressure world of global logistics.
So here's the puzzle. You've got a $500,000 piece of machinery sitting in a factory in Shanghai, and your construction site, where you desperately need it, is all the way over in Casablanca, Morocco. How in the world do you get it from point A to point B?
That's right. For this whole journey, you're the one calling the shots. You're the operations manager. If this cargo shows up late, your company pays huge penalties. If your paperwork has one tiny mistake, the whole thing could get seized. The pressure? Yeah, it's all on you. Okay, so where does this all begin? It starts with a phone call. It's your supplier, Mr. Chen, over in Shanghai. Before anything can move an inch, you have to agree on the terms of the sale. And believe me, this is where the very first battle is fought. And right away, here's the first problem. Mr. Chen offers you an EXW or X-Works price. Now, that sounds simple enough, right? Wrong. It's basically a trap. It means the second that machine rolls out of his factory door, it is 100% your problem. If a truck crashes in Shanghai, your problem. If it gets stuck in Chinese export customs, you guessed it, your problem. No way. You push back. You demand FOB, free on board. That makes him responsible for getting it safely loaded onto the ship. So what you've just been battling over, that's the secret language of shipping. They're called Incoterms, and they are the universal rules that define exactly who is responsible for what and when. After a bit of negotiation, you settle on a compromise, CIF, which stands for Cost, Insurance, and Freight. This means Mr. Chen will handle the cost of the ocean journey and the insurance, but the risk officially transfers to you the moment that cargo is on the ship. Deal. With the deal signed, the machine is ready to go. But now, you've actually got to move the thing. Phase 2 is all about finding the perfect ride for your very expensive and very large piece of equipment. So you shoot an email over to your freight forwarder, let's call her Sarah, with all the machine's dimensions. The total volume comes out to 58 cubic meters. Now you've just got to find a shipping container that can hold it. Seems easy enough, doesn't it? Whoa, not so fast. A standard 20-foot container? Way too small. A 40-foot standard has plenty of volume, sure, but Sarah flags a critical issue. Your machine is too tall to actually fit through the door. See? It's not just about volume. You need a 40-foot high cube, a special container that's just 1 foot taller, but that one single foot makes all the difference. You tell her to book it. A little while later, Sarah sends you the booking confirmation, and your eyes immediately lock onto one thing, the cutoff date. Let me tell you, this date is everything. It is the absolute, final, non-negotiable deadline to get your loaded container back to the port. If you miss it, even by an hour, that ship is sailing and you're not on it.
Phew! Your container makes the cutoff, the ship sails, you can finally breathe a little. Or can you? Because believe it or not, your biggest challenge yet is about to land right in your inbox, and it's disguised as a simple document.
A couple of days after the ship leaves Shanghai, Sarah sends over the draft bill of lading, or BL for short. This is your one chance to check every single detail before the final document gets printed. So you open it up and start scanning. Shipper? Check. Consignee? Check. Container number? Looks good. Everything seems totally fine. But then you pause. You're looking at a box labeled Notify Party. This is the company that gets the official arrival notice when the ship gets to Casablanca. You recognize the company name, but the phone number. Something just feels off. You do a quick search, and that's when your heart just drops. Unbelievable. The arrival notice for your $500,000 super secret project is set to be delivered right into the hands of your biggest rival. A simple typo, probably a copy-paste error from an old shipment, and your entire operation was about to be blown wide open. And that is why this piece of paper is probably the most important document in this entire process. A bill of lading isn't just a receipt, it is the title deed to your cargo. In many cases, whoever holds the physical original document literally owns the goods inside that container. You are on the phone to Sarah instantly, demanding a correction. Crisis averted. But man, that was close. With the corrected paperwork finally sorted, you can track your ship as it makes its long journey across the ocean. But as you're about to find out, in logistics, the plan is, well, it's just a suggestion, really.
So the journey isn't a simple A to B line on a map. Your container is on a massive mother vessel that's sailing from Shanghai to a huge hub port in Malta. From there, it's supposed to be unloaded and then reloaded onto a smaller feeder vessel for the final trip to Casablanca. This whole process is called transshipment, and it's a notorious weak point in any supply chain.
And wouldn't you know it, that's exactly where things go wrong. You get an email, and the update is just one single dreaded word: rolled. It means the connecting ship in Malta was overbooked and your container got left behind. Just like that, your cargo is now stranded on a dock in Malta for a whole week, waiting for the next ship. Your entire project schedule is officially wrecked.
A week later, your container finally arrives in Casablanca. The long sea voyage is over. But the real war, it's just getting started, because now you have to deal with customs. So your customs broker submits all the paperwork and it enters the system. Think of it like a giant game of roulette. Green channel means you're good to go. Orange means they just want to check your papers. And red means they want to physically unload and inspect your container. Of course, you got red.
The inspector opens it up. He sees the main machine, which is fine, but then he spots a box of spare parts, and inside, a couple of laptops meant for the machine operators. Here's the problem. You didn't list them as a separate item. He immediately accuses you of making a false declaration. He's claiming you tried to sneak in electronics under the tax code for machinery parts, and he wants to fine you 200% of their value. This is serious.
After 10 long, brutal days of negotiations, your broker finally gets the penalty knocked down to a fine you can live with. The container is released by customs. You've won, right? Well, not quite. Because all those delays, they've started a new clock, and this one costs money. You're now paying for parking. You see, the shipping line gives you a certain number of days of free time at the port, usually about 7. Your 10-day customs inspection put you 3 days over, so now you owe them demurrage, which is just a fancy word for a daily penalty for letting your full container sit inside the port for too long.
Okay, this is it, the final gauntlet. You have to pay the demurrage fees to get the final release paper. Then you hire a truck to finally haul the container to your site where you can unload the machine. But you're still not done. You have to get that empty container back to the shipping line's depot, and if you're late with that, you get hit with another fee, this one called detention. There's always another fee.
In the end, you pulled it off. The machine is delivered. But just stop and think for a second. One wrong Incoterm, and you could have been on the hook for a total loss in China. One unchecked box on a form, and your biggest competitor gets the keys to your project. One customs argument, and your cargo could be seized for months. You succeeded, but what would just one of those wrong decisions have cost you? That right there is the secret language of logistics.